This is a dark psychology trick that will make anybody fall for you.
Psychology facts. If you can't get someone off your mind, there is a 79% chance they feel the same way.
11 psychology facts about quiet people.
Psychology, the study of the mind and behaviors in both humans and animals. Psychology has grown a lot in popularity, especially in America over the past years, which is good because at least now people are acknowledging that mental health and mental illnesses are in fact a thing and are not myths. And whether or not you still believe that, whatever, you're welcome to die on a hill no one cares to climb. But it is now starting to divulge into other things that is not originally what it was used for, which is basically the story of everything, it seems, nowadays. But besides all that, psychology is a really broad and interesting area of study because there are so many subgenres of psychology. You have abnormal psychology, which is the study of things like mental disorders and abnormal behaviors, or at least things that are not seen as typical in a person. You have developmental psychology, which starts studying in children and behaviors that they might have and how they grow, how the psyche changes as you grow into an adult. You have forensic and criminal psychology, obviously in the forensic science world, using it to help identify criminal behaviors and patterns. But there's one imposter among us, one subcategory that I'm not familiar with, one category that I just don't remember hearing about at all. I only just recently heard about it. Yes, it's the infamous dark psychology. Whenever I hear of dark psychology, I always think of some mystical dark arts, which I guess is kind of how they're supposed to portray it. It's supposed to be like mad scientists, forbidden techniques used. But see, here's the thing, right? So, as I said, I am studying and majoring in psychology. And I don't really remember learning about that subgenre. So because clearly I was not taught these dark arts, I'm going to research it myself and figure out what is this subgenre of psychology that I've only just recently heard of. So I first found this out after watching Chad's video of her psychology facts that she was talking about on TikTok. So I found a few articles, and I'm going to be looking at some TikToks that talk about dark psychology and really piece together what it actually is. So when I searched up what is dark psychology, this article is one of the first that came up. It's called esoftskills.com. So when I clicked into it, it brought me to the bottom of the article that says frequently asked questions. So, what is dark psychology? Dark psychology is a study of the human condition and personality with its emphasis on the dark side of human nature. It's a branch of psychology that explores the darker aspects of the human psyche, including topics such as aggression, cruelty, sadism, and psychopathy. What are the goals of dark psychology? The goals of dark psychology are to better understand the dark side of human nature in order to explain why some people engage in the dark or harmful behavior, prevent or reduce dark or harmful behavior, and treat those who have engaged in dark or harmful behavior. All right, no, let's just keep reading. What are some methods used in dark psychology? Case studies, observations, psychological testing, interviews. Okay, that's just psychology as a whole. What are some applications of dark psychology? Some of the applications of dark psychology include understanding why some people engage in criminal behavior. Okay, that's criminal psychology, which is what I talk about. That is an actual field. That's in the forensic science field. But all right. Preventing crime through better understanding of the motivations behind it and treating those who have engaged in criminal harmful behavior. Okay, again, this is criminal psychology. What are some controversies surrounding dark psychology? Whether or not it's a legitimate field of study. Yeah, I'm questioning that as well because a lot of the stuff that was mentioned here is just other branches of actual psychology. The benefits of dark psychology, so despite its negative connotations, dark psychology can actually be used for good. It can help people understand why they do what they do. Dark psychology can help us understand why people act in certain ways, which can be helpful in treating psychological disorders. Okay, again, that's just psychology as a whole. That's what psychology does. And for disorders, that would be more abnormal psychology. Just a quick note. When I searched up what is dark psychology, I'm not really seeing any official psychology sites like the APA, for example. I find it strange that they keep picking from other subgenres of psychology. And also, because understandably, a lot of subgenres can go together in psychology. But this is basically just psychology genre soup. This is just picking from a bunch of different subgenres and just psychology as a whole and making it its own subgenre. Those were just the articles. I have some TikToks that I found that we can learn some dark psychology tips and tricks, apparently. So let's start with this one. This is the one that I seen Chad react to. We're going to learn a dark psychology trick. It says, here's a dark psychology trick to make anybody fall in love with you. Great.
Here's a dark psychology trick to make anybody fall in love with you. This is 100% manipulation. I do not recommend doing this to anybody because it is super toxic, and I'm only making a video on it so you can at least be aware if it's happening to you. It's just a 3-step hot and cold technique where you first have to build up a pattern of pleasure and validation, just making this person feel amazing around you. And then you have to break it. Emotionally and physically, you have to pull away from them because this is gonna make them feel insecure, like shit, and most importantly, the need to chase and get that validation back from you that they just got addicted to. And then you just have to turn that on button back on again and start validating them. This is going to make them fall in love with you, but in a very unhealthy attachment style. You know, until they figure out what the fuck you're doing. Good luck.
Yeah, so she teaches us how to do it. Tells us this is how you get someone to fall in love with you. Tells us not to do it because it's toxic. Teaches us how to do it, and then tells us good luck. I'm getting mixed signals here. Now, she does say in the comments that she does speak from experience, and unfortunately, she was a victim of this dark psychology tactic. She's trying to spread awareness to people to realize when it's happening. But again, saying good luck, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's misleading because are you giving us luck so we can avoid that happening to us, or giving us luck so we can do it? Let's check another video. Why isn't the sound available? When I found this video, the sound was definitely available. Okay, whatever. There's captions, so we're all just gonna have to read. You guys can read, right?
So first I was going to leave it without sound, but then I thought about the fact that people might like to listen to videos instead of watching them, or people with visual impairments might need to hear the voices or whatever. So instead of leaving it no sound, I'm just going to go ahead and narrate it myself in the best British accent I can muster up, because he has Harry Potter music in the background. I mean, you can't hear it anymore because it's gone, but he has it in the background. So I feel like it's only appropriate I use a British voice. So you're welcome. Here is a dark psychology trick used by manipulators. A warning, I tell you this so you can protect yourself, not to say you go and do it. This is extremely powerful and toxic.
See, defense against the dark arts. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Like, dark psychology seems just like some subgenre that this generation wanted to create to fit in their little dark academia aesthetic. Because when I first found this video, I guess maybe the music, I don't know, he took out the music or whatever happened, but he had Harry Potter music playing in the background. You see the comment, literally the top comment is like, I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously with the Harry Potter music. There's Harry Potter music in the background. They're making this seem like this is some magic spell and Gar Leviosa, or however you say it. I'm sorry to all the Harry Potter fans I just offended. I don't watch Harry Potter. I don't know what she says, okay? Okay, whatever. It's called the stepped approach. So we're going to learn how to defend ourselves against the dark art that is the stepped approach.
It's called the stepped approach. Highly persuasive. People know that it's easier for you to put up with the small attacks first before they can fully control you. If someone wants to make you their own little pawn, they may first just raise their voice at you a little bit when you don't listen to them. Maybe not a huge deal, but then they will insult you the next time. Now you've already lowered your self-esteem and their perception of you, and you're a little bit closer to being under their spell. However, the next jump will get more personal, and it may even get violent if they have complete control of you. I think I'm talking too fast. Oh, so what you can do, notice the signs early on and break it off with them.
Okay, so I feel like, I mean, I guess it could be manipulation, but at the same time, I think it's pretty natural for someone to raise their voice at you if you're not listening to them, because that's just naturally how you would react. And also, if you're upset, you would insult someone. Also, is there any, like, statistic evidence to back all this up? The stepped approach? You know, let me do a quick Google search. Hold on. The stepped approach. A stepped care model of mental health. Introduction. A stepped care approach to talking therapies. Understanding what stepped care means as a patient. No, there's no research. Let's check out this one. Psychology hack to get inside a girl's mind. I think Chad reacted to this one too.
Psychology hack to get inside a girl's mind. Guys, please be careful when you're using this because this is dark psychology and this is going to make her think about you non-stop. Bombastic! So when you're talking or texting a girl in a casual manner, I want you to wait for a break in the conversation and then say, hey, there's something I want to tell you, and then right after that, just say, oh no, never mind, it's not worth it. This will make her go crazy and she's instantly going to be saying to you, what is it? Like, please tell me. And she's going to be going through so many scenarios in her head of what she thought you were going to say, and it's going to be stuck in her head for literally hours to days after you said it. Now, you can approach this slightly differently as well and say that you're going to tell her in a couple of hours or the next day, and when you do end up telling her what was on your mind, you can just say something stupid and funny like, hey, I just wanted to tell you that I like food.
That's just annoying. She's not gonna like you after that at all. She's gonna be really mad at you, actually. I don't know if this is the best advice to give. And once again, be careful. This is dark psychology. But I'm gonna give you a step-by-step on how to do the thing you probably shouldn't do.
How to get someone to fall in love with you using dark psychology. Before watching this video, you have to promise me that you will use these techniques with caution because these manipulation techniques are extremely toxic and dangerous if used in the wrong way.
The amount of disclaimers I'm getting on these videos are very concerning. Do you want me to use these skills or not? What's gonna happen when I do these things? Another concerning thing about these videos, why are they all about relationships? Like romantic relationships? Why are all of them tips on how to get someone to like you by emotionally manipulating them? I feel like if you have to watch things like this to get your crush to like you, I think you've already failed. Maybe dating isn't for you. You can just not date, you know that, right? It's like, imagine going to school for several years, right? To get your psychology degree, get your master's or whatever, just for people to come to you and be like, hey, how do I get laid? How do I get my senpai to like me and notice me? How do I get a girlfriend? How do I get a boyfriend?
1. The White Knight method works by gaining someone's trust by solving someone's problems while being unnoticed as the cause of those problems. For example, you manipulate a group of people to bully the victim by telling something embarrassing about the victim to the bullies. Then you emerge as the heroic White Knight and save the victim by standing up for the victim and stopping the bullying. This will make the victim obsessed with you and make them feel like they owe something to you.
I mean, if you're gonna do this with bullying, who's to say you stop there? Why stop there? Alright folks, so what you're gonna wanna do, push them off the cliff, right? And right when all hope is lost and they're about to fall to their deaths, you save them out of the hole. Save them right before they die, then they'll be obsessed with you. Okay, another quick note, by the way, this anime they have in the background is called Monster. Really top tier anime. Really, really good. It's really, really good. It's a dark psychological anime. Most likely the reason they have this as the background. It's 73 episodes, but it's not that bad. I don't like committing to very long animes, but even though it's almost 100 episodes, there's not a dull moment in the anime. Every single one is just a great progression to the plot. So much suspense. It's really good. Anyways, just want to throw that in there. My inner weeb is showing. Let's change the subject. I think I watched enough videos to get the idea that, as I suspected, and just between you and me, just come a little closer real quick. Okay, probably people don't need to hear this. Dark psychology isn't a thing. I know, it's crazy, right? Yeah, dark psychology is not an actual subgenre of psychology. I'm sorry. It's not an actual area of study. Dark psychology is basically just emotional and mental manipulation. They're just trying to, branch it into psychology, give it a cool name, just so it doesn't seem as bad as it does. It's just manipulation. That's all it is. Which is not cool, by the way. As someone who has been emotionally manipulated before, some methods are like guilt tripping, gaslighting. I know you hear those phrases a lot. Yeah, those are forms of emotional manipulation. It's not cool, it's not fun, and it's definitely not something you should use on other people. That isn't to say that some of the things that these people in the videos and the articles that I'm reading aren't 100% true. I don't mean to completely just, hate on these people and be like, they're stupid, they don't know what they're talking about. Some of these methods are actual things that people do and can cause these attachment issues or these trust issues or whatever. But again, it's not dark psychology. It's not an area of study. Calling it something psychology as a subgenre of psychology is basically saying that this is an area that is studied and has a lot of data to back it up and statistics, when again, none of these methods really do. They're just methods that kind of sound like, it could be a psychological thing. So they kind of throw it into that bowl. We just need to call it what it is and just say this is a manipulation tactic, not this is dark psychology. And also, like some of these articles did state, manipulation, or I guess a nicer word is influence, is used a lot in our day-to-day world. Marketing is all psychology, and consumer psychology is normally what people would call that in that area. Understanding the behaviors of shoppers in order to appeal to them more. You see this online with ads and commercials and billboards and stuff like that. But it isn't even just online. They do it in stores as well. Impulse buys, the little snacks and candies right at the cash register that you can kind of just pick up and be like, oh, I'm hungry, I want a snack, I'm thirsty, I want this. Like everything is very meticulously set up so that you can spend more money. And it is cool. Like I understand why they try to make it some cool, dark, mystical arts woo, because it is cool when you know how the brain works and you can utilize it to your advantage. I know it's very romanticized as well in things like animes and movies, how you have that one character who's, so good at just analyzing people's moves and using them against them. Yes, it's cool and interesting to an extent, but not in the way that they're teaching you in these videos. You should never have to emotionally manipulate someone or take advantage of them in order to get them to like you, in order to form a relationship with them, in order to get them to do what you want. How about just being a decent person? How about we just start there? Like there are so many videos that you can find. I mean, the article that I saw literally had that video of that girl being like how to, psychologically manipulate someone to get them to fall for you. It's like, it's almost sexualized in a way. There are some pins sometimes that'll pop up on my Pinterest that'll be like, ooh, dark feminine psychology tricks to get them to think about you. And it's like, no. First of all, again, dark psychology, not a thing. Second of all, no, you don't have to use dark psychology to understand people better. That's just psychology as a whole. Again, dark psychology or just manipulation, which is what it is, it's not really something that should be used in these types of ways.
So when I searched up, dark feminine psychology on my Pinterest page, I was actually so surprised to see ads on books of like dark feminine psychology and teaching women how to, manipulate men so they can make them overly obsessed with them and just creating these very unhealthy relationships. I mean, this is an ad. They're selling this stuff. And I'm like, why? Like, why do people think it's okay for them to like have this type of information, sell it to people, and encourage women and just people in general to do stuff like this? And something I want to clarify, because I didn't actually mention this in the video, I'm not at all saying that you have to be an expert in whatever field you want to talk about in order to talk about it. That would be hypocritical because, I'm not an expert in psychology. I love it, I'm studying it, but I don't have my degree yet. So you don't have to be like a psychologist in order to want to talk about psychology, but you need to do at least basic research and also make sure it is a legitimate field before you make it seem as legitimate. Because when you try to search up dark psychology research or research studies on dark psychology, you get the articles that, like one of the articles that I read today, you get kind of the ones like that, which are not official. They're just kind of people writing in blogs or whatever. And you get some other articles of what's supposed to be like a scholarly article, but there really isn't any statistics in it. Like even some of them, like I downloaded one and pulled it up and it was just like all the other articles where it was like kind of a vague explanation of what dark psychology seems to be, but there's no research studies, there's no statistics, there's no numbers, there's no science, there's no none of that. So you can't just bring in this new subgenre and there really isn't any science to back it up just because it seems like it fits into the category. So I just wanted to make that very clear. You can give relationship advice or whatever you want, but make sure it's legitimate,
If you really want to learn more about human behavior, again, I would suggest just studying psychology as a whole. I personally am not very good socially. I'm very socially incapable. I can't make friends. I really can't talk to people without feeling very nervous about it. So taking psychology and learning about a few things can help me understand like certain human behaviors and things like that. It can also be used for other things like learning. When you understand the way that the mind works and how the mind, stores information and how it resurfaces it, you can become better at studying. You can get better grades. You can have better information. What is it called? No. You can retain information better is what I'm trying to say. And that recall will happen better once you learn about like the amygdala, which is the part that holds memories and stuff like that. And psychology can be used in so many different ways to learn more about yourself and about other people without having to use it like this. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I found it very interesting of a genre because I'm unfamiliar with it and I wanted to really get behind it to see what it is. before I just dump on it and be like, it's not real, it's not real. Certain aspects of it are true, yes, but the entirety of what dark psychology is not an actual scientific field of study. So we shouldn't really make it seem that way and think that we have evidence and statistics to back all this up when we really don't. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.